So I knew I was okay. He sold 11 million records. And he had deals with Jay-Z and them, but Jay-Z ain't gonna never. Dude, I always tell him all the time, Jay-Z ain't treat me like this.
Oh, he definitely like playing. You know, this nigga.
Jay-Z might not even say hard as though.
So we just, had a lit. Jay-Z will never take you to a party like this.
A lot of me from the hood, so people look at Bleak and don't understand the business he's doing. They always look at Jay like, oh
yeah. That's why you got like Yayo talking about Jay don't take care of. I don't need Jay to go on tour.
Yo, smoke hard coke, yo.
Yo, chill.
You look like you need to be taken care of. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene.
Don't complain, but he's got a good life, man.
Jim Jones just messed with the wrong one, because Uncle Murda is not letting it slide. Jim tried to clown Tony Yayo for saying 50 Cent takes better care of his artists than Jay-Z, but that backfired fast. Uncle Murda, who's been around both the Rockefeller and G-Unit camps, decided to step in and drop some real talk, and the internet is eating it up. Murda made it clear, 50's been feeding his day ones for decades. He keeps his circle close, his people paid, and their loyalty strong. Meanwhile, with Jay-Z, once you stop being useful, that Rock Nation brunch invite disappears real quick. People started saying Jay runs business like a corporation. No feelings, just deals. But with 50, it's a family thing. Now, let's rewind to where this all started. Tony Yayo did an interview where he kept it honest and said something that hit home for a lot of fans. He explained that Jay doesn't really take care of his people the same way 50 does.
About how
Jay don't look
out for Bleak like Fib look out for you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I just want to clear that up. Hov don't have to.
And then he said he eat his home halal.
You know what I mean?
All right. Okay.
I'm chewing halal on my own.
He eats on his own. I eat on my own too.
Right.
I go on my own tour. I just came off tour.
Right.
When have you seen Bleak on tour? On his own. Jay-Z is not a bad guy. Bleak is not a bad guy. I'm not saying. I'm saying to you that Jay-Z was all business with them niggas. When Buck up on his taxes, 50 a piece or more. When Prodigy bought a house and needed more money, 50 a piece or more. Prodigy are paying back. The thing with 50 is, it was business and we was friends. I don't feel like Bleak was Jay-Z friend. I don't feel like Young Guns was Jay-Z friend. It came to a point where 50 was helping Siegel.
According to Yayo, 50 always made sure his crew was good, putting them on tour, giving them cameos on TV, and bringing them into business moves. He flies them out, makes sure they're eating, and keeps them relevant. All he ever asked for in return is loyalty.
The nigga keep showing up next to down. That's an indication to me he might have some feelings towards me. That is just everywhere I got an issue. You show up around me. So I mean, you don't get music, because the music ain't usually my motivation. My morals come off the curb. So if you sitting there, keep being around nigga, when he come around, how your antennas go on. So he in a position where he might feel like he did.
But then Jim Jones jumped in, and that's when everything got messy. During a chat with Memphis Bleak, Jim started clowning Yayo, calling him broke and saying he's still depending on 50 to keep him afloat. That's when Uncle Murda came swinging. He checked Jim real quick and dropped that line that had social media shaking, Jay got business partners, but 50 got brothers.
A lot of me from the hood, so people look at Bleak and don't understand the business he's doing. They always look at Jay like, oh
yeah. That's why. That's why you got like Yayo talking about Jay don't take care of. I don't need Jay to go on tour.
Yo, smoke hard coke, yo.
Yo, chill.
You look like you need to be taken care of, nigga. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene. You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you an ounce or something, yo.
You do need
you
that
might
help.
need
That's
2
why,
ounces.
That's why
Paid in full move. I got a G for every bump in your face. I promise you that.
I
promise you that.
Why you worrying about
Peon, you broke. You know I got it.
I was in 50 crib, no roaches and all that, little spot, small spot. Nobody believed in that. We playing Get Rich or Die Trying already in the crib. You had to ask that done. Like, all right. Once it goes, I'm like, everybody get confused because they don't think that your dream was gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta, you know what I mean? That's why I respect him because we had more of an assist. We had 50 Cent. So I knew I was okay. He sold 11 million records. Even motherfucker, he had deals with Jay-Z and them, but Jay-Z ain't gonna never. Dude, I always tell him all the time, Jay-Z ain't treat me like this.
Oh, he definitely like playing artists.
Jay-Z might not be so hard though.
So we the party we just had in Miami with the Kardashians, Serena Williams, and everybody. We just finished performing. Great time, right? First thing my man here want to say, yeah, lit. Jay-Z will never take you to a party like this.
You might get him right.
That hit deep because it spoke to a bigger truth. Jay builds empires, but 50 builds bonds. Murda wasn't just defending 50, he was exposing the difference between corporate loyalty and real loyalty. The streets started buzzing, and suddenly everyone was picking sides. Some say Jim was out of pocket for disrespecting Yayo, while others claim Murda just reminded the game who the real boss is. 50 Cent keeps his people close because they've earned that spot since day one. Loyalty means everything to him, and that's something Uncle Murda and Tony Yayo made crystal clear in a recent interview. Both of them spoke on how Jay-Z never looked out for Murda the way 50 did. And according to Yayo, it's simple. 50 never forgot who was there when he was broke, grinding, and had nothing to his name. Those same folks stayed solid, so now he's keeping them fed and flying. But here's where it gets spicy. The internet is completely divided on this one. Some people are writing for Jim Jones, saying Yayo's still living off 50 and that Jay doesn't need to flash his generosity online the way 50 does. They argue that just because Jay isn't posting receipts doesn't mean he's not helping his people quietly behind the scenes. But on the flip side, a whole lot more folks are dragging Jim for jumping into business that wasn't his to begin with. One user fired off, Jim Jones running his mouth like he ran when somebody put their hands on him. Another fan said straight up, we all know Jimmy doing the most just to stay relevant. Then someone else wrote, Jim said he better than Yayo, enough said. The comments are wild, everyone's picking sides, and it's getting messy fast. Now, let's really break down that fire line from Uncle Murda. Jay got business partners, but 50 got brothers. That wasn't just some slick wordplay, it came from experience. Uncle Murda's time at Rockefeller was short, barely a year before he bounced to G-Unit. And once he got with 50, he saw what real loyalty looked like. 50 doesn't just keep you around for a deal. He brings you into his world, makes sure you learn how to win, and teaches you how to move smart. Yayo's been rocking with 50 since the early G-Unit mixtape era. And all these years later, 50 still gets him booked for international tours.
Fifth, he always was like tight with his money. Eminem, tight with his money. So you learn to kind of save instead of spending. 50 encourages, yo, you get money, go get a house. That's like Uncle Murda, he's down with us now. He was signed to Jay-Z, he got his first house being down with us.
Right.
He gave me my first Jacob watch and 50 said, yo, don't forget, blow your head off of it. See, 50 was ahead of his time. That's what people didn't understand. Jim Jones, Fifth had me in Battery Park. I could walk out that barefoot.
Get the
See,
socks.
that's when a nigga love you, nigga. You can get the socks, nigga. Sneakers Dior, nigga. But I'm walking out there barefoot. That's when you know a nigga love you, boy. Because he making sure you don't get your shit split.
It's not just about the private jets, luxury suites, or designer fits. 50 is about building wealth and legacy. Yayo even shared that 50 taught him how to manage money, invest, and build long-term stability. And get this, Uncle Murda said he was finally able to buy his first house after signing with 50. That's not just loyalty, that's leadership. When Uncle Murda linked up with G-Unit, everything changed. 50 Cent didn't just throw him a verse or a shout-out. He brought him into the business, gave him opportunities, and kept his name buzzing in the streets. That's the thing about 50. He doesn't treat his people like disposable co-workers. He treats them like family. Once you're solid with him, you're solid for life. He's built a legacy of loyalty, not just contracts and checks. But when you look at Jay-Z's circle, the vibe is completely different. Jay moves like a CEO running $1 billion corporation. Everything's transactional. You're around when it benefits both sides, and when it doesn't, you're gone. No emotions, no explanations. Just look at the pattern. Dame Dash, Kanye West, Beanie Siegel, all people who helped shape Jay's come up. And one by one, he cut ties and never looked back. It's like once you're no longer part of the brand, you vanish from the blueprint. And it didn't stop there. Remember Jay's the man who literally put Jay on? Jazz was mentoring him way before the world even knew who Jay-Z was. But once Jay rose to the top, he switched up and left Jazz in the dust.
Relationship like with Jay-Z, who were you to him?
Well, basically, I was his right-hand man. You know what I mean? Beyond that, we was brothers. For him not to even give me time, even to act like he didn't know me, you know what I'm saying? For all that, I sacrificed, all that my people sacrificed, you know, all that my family sacrificed. You know, I never knew that it'd get to this. Even label me with some statements or some snitching, you know, snitching statements. I think that's about the utmost disrespect.
It is, especially streetwise.
That bond was supposed to be forever, but fame and money changed everything. Then there's DeHaven, one of Jay's oldest friends from Marcy Projects. This man helped Jay in the early days, kept him close, and looked out for him before the fame. But when Jay became corporate, he started acting like DeHaven never existed. DeHaven even went public saying Jay lied on his name, called him a snitch, and turned his back completely. When people asked him about his relationship with Jay-Z, the pain was real. He said, "Who was I to him? I guess I was just useful. Until I wasn't." And so, when Uncle Murda dropped that now famous line, Jay got business partners, but 50 got brothers, he wasn't just talking slick. He was calling out the truth.
Like I just said, we just came back off tour.
Yeah.
You know, with Fifth, and we still touring. Still. And I do my own tours too for people. Oh, yo.
See,
I do my own tours. I did tours in Canada. I did a tour across the whole Germany and the Swiss Alps. And that's why I don't care about the hate. Cause I'm like, I got the possibility to do my own tour. Like, something with Memphis Bleak. Memphis Bleak said to, Nori, Yayo said, Jay-Z didn't have us on tour like he did, or I eat my own halal. I eat my own halal too. If you want to say that, to Memphis Bleak, I just came off my last tour. All I'm saying is when you see Jay-Z in a setting, he never really, when he's doing a Beyonce show or whatever, you don't see Memphis Bleak on the stage or him being brought out.
I'm Tony Yayo said, Hov don't look out for me like 50 look out for him.
Oh, where he said that?
I just want to clear that up. Hov don't have to.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right. Okay.
I'm chewing a loud on my own. If Hov look out, I'm telling you, I'll be up there. So when y'all see me out here, that's the Blizzle budget. But back to you, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I just want to let niggas know Hov don't have to.
So Jay moves like a businessman, strategic, smart, always thinking about the brand. But loyalty doesn't seem to be in that equation. Nobody ever calls Jay loyal. They call him calculated, brilliant, or corporate. But with 50, you can trace his loyalty all the way back to the beginning. The same people who were with him in the grind are still with him today. If you see someone missing from that circle, it's because they switched up, not him. That's the difference between 50 and Jay. One builds brotherhoods, the other builds boardrooms. What really sets 50 Cent apart is how he never forgot who rode for him when things were rough. Back when nobody wanted to work with him after that infamous incident in Queens, his day one stood strong beside him, and he never let that loyalty go to waste. Once he blew up, he didn't just move on to industry friends, he brought his real ones along for the ride. That's why you'll still see Yayo, Banks, and even Uncle Murda standing next to him decades later. Because they're not employees, they're family. Behind the scenes, people say 50 treats loyalty like a business model of its own. He invests in his people, not just with money, but with opportunity. He gives them platforms, connects them with producers, and teaches them how to turn street hustle into real income. Some fans even pointed out that 50 doesn't just help. He equips his circle to win on their own. He doesn't want to babysit anyone. He wants them to build their own legacies. Meanwhile, when it comes to Jay-Z, the talk online is that he's always played chess, not checkers. His relationships are moves on the board, strategic and beneficial, but not necessarily personal. The moment something doesn't align with the brand or the billion-dollar image, that connection fades into the background. People still respect Jay as a business genius, but they also admit, it's lonely at the top when your empire is built on deals, not devotion. Fans started comparing the energy in both camps, G-Unit versus Roc Nation, and it's night and day.